Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, SlyGolds, and welcome to the new Sly One Stop event. Brand new category, brand new event. I am super excited, and I know everybody in chat and here in the commentator booth is as well. Speaking of the commentator booth, let's go ahead and address what is larger than the elephant in the room. My co-commentator and host of the stream today. You all know him well. Oggyerino!
Hello guys, it's Oggyerino Wallhack. Thank you for that crippling speech, Nave. That was great. So, we're here today. It's gonna be a great event. It's gonna be good. So, should we just move it along? We have two.
Well, let's go ahead and introduce our runners for this first race. That's right, first, because we do indeed have 3 races planned for you here today. The first one will be between Knuutti. Hello, Knuutti.
Hello, Nave. Hello, TheProfesser. I'm very excited to be here today.
Excellent. And then, of course, his adversary in this race is going to be the PS2 Professor. Hello.
Howdy.
Glad to have you both here. These two gentlemen will be running the original version of the game. And if you're not familiar with what S.T.O.P is, I believe we have a command for that. Type !stop in the chat and you should get an information document. But just to summarize, these runners will be running a randomized task list of 10 tasks that they have to complete before the end of the run. And so, Oggy, do you want to go ahead and show us our randomized task list?
Absolutely. I think we had a little oops in the beginning from some testing, but no one saw anything. You know, the legal team will be on you if you make some complaint. Don't worry about it. So, our first task of today, of course the order can change if the runners want to. First task, sprinting through the storm.
Ooh. Nice.
So, it's a little World 1 MTS. Then we have where we dropping, boys.
Where are we dropping? That's a fan favorite right there.
Yes. It's when Raleigh says Fortnite.
Fortnite?
Then we have shh. This is a library. Use the barrel from start to the key in a cunning disguise. Pretty good one. Moving over to the next one. We have pest control. Get those pesky pests out of here. Kill all the mosquitoes or spider in a World 3 level. Then the next one. Raccoon Gumbo, my favorite.
I bet.
Wow. Get killed by the bomb chicken after you collect 20 chicks. And then finish the minigame. Get the key. Next one, we have sprinting through the mountains. Yet again, an MTS. This is in World 4. So in the Panda level. Then we have a favorite. Owl Historian. Watch the opening cutscene in the final split Strange Reunion. The one we usually skip.
It had to be there.
Had to be there, dude. We had to get it rolling. Now for our next one, we have all part of the plan. This is to collect a blueprint in any of the world. That means opening 3 vaults in the same world. Can't be other worlds. Then we have our penultimate one, which will be shortcut! Exclamation mark. Then it is to open a gate to the second half of any world, like the generator in episode 1, the car in episode 2, or the snake voodoo, like Hooga Majuga thing in World 3. Then, our final one, which will be a boss fight. We will have to end the life of, take down a boss. It will be Miss Ruby. So you'll have to finish Miss Ruby. It's a naughty one, that one. So now, we will give the runners approximately 5 minutes to figure out route and do whatever with this info. For the runners in the league chat, there is now a list of all of the splits, or all the tasks, and good luck. Me and Nave are now gonna discuss just the tasks up ahead, starting now.
Yeah, so first off, I just want to mention that the way this is going to work is that, of course, these runners do not have to do these tasks in order, as Augie mentioned. They can do them in any order they please, except for that final 10th task, Dance Dance Ruby. In order to end the run, the official end point of any stop run is to beat one of the members of the Fiendish Five that is listed as your 10th and final task. So that means even if they have to beat Ruby once in order to get on to Worlds 4 and 5, they will have to go back at the end and beat her one more time to finalize the run.
Yes, and from what I understand, it does not need to be completed in the casual sense, which, of course, in most of, or if really all, except for Miss Ruby, that would be doing the last part of Miss Ruby. You just need to complete it. You don't need to do the final section, the third phase, as it's called, the dreaded third phase. If you,
Exactly.
of course, if with Miss Ruby, I believe this is something I haven't cleared up. I assume that if they don't get the skip, then it's not good. Then they have to do it again. If they do it at that part, I believe. Or is it?
Yeah, basically, just as long as they essentially, actually kill her, they fulfill the sort of requirements that would have been fulfilled to unlock World 4 had it not already been unlocked.
Yes. So that means that you can do the dreaded final phase, or you can do the skip. Remaster, skip could be a little harder. Who knows, depending on the runner. Certain people like me can have a hard time doing it, especially in the testing.
One of the more interesting tasks that we have today, something that I'm excited for, is all part of the plan. And why am I excited for that? Because you have to open 3 vaults in the same world to get the blueprints. And the reason that's important is because you get dive and roll abilities on the way to do that. And roll is my favorite gadget in the game. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, some might say that roll would be my favorite, but I actually prefer walking. So, we also have a great put in here of one of the tasks. Owl Historian, a fan favorite. Everyone is in love with this one. The only thing that I can see with this list of tasks is that it might be a little longer than a certain other randomized lists. There's a lot of things you have to do here. You have to go through a lot of the levels.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially anytime you have to go to World 5, and not only World 5, but all the way to the final level of World 5. It's going to be a little bit longer of a seed, but since this first race will be on Original, these runners do have some strats that will help speed it up a little bit more, at least in comparison to the remaster version, which will be our next races.
Yes, absolutely. There are definitely certain lists that can, I was gonna say make or break. Of course, we haven't put any strats in here that are inhumanly hard to do. Like for certain people, doing periscope can be a dreadful task, so we have not included such tasks in here. This is more for the fun of it and for people's enjoyment. And in case it goes wrong, for the viewers' enjoyment.
Exactly. I mean, of course, they can do those hard tricks for movement tech and beating the seed faster, but the tasks themselves are specifically created to be, essentially casual. Basically, anybody could pick up the controller and do any of these tasks. It just depends on how fast they can do them, if they know any of the tricks or stuff.
Yeah. Let's see here. So we have, it seems here actually we are skipping World 2, which if this was World 3 could have been a problem, because then you have to do World 3 anyway. So having any tasks there is kind of like it's like on the route almost. World 2, if you were to have to do something there, you would have to go out of your way to do it. So it's a little bit of a blessing, World 2 skip, done, beat mugshot.
Easy.
So yeah, we are now coming up on the 5 minutes. Runners, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Professor, are you ready?
Ready to press that unmute button.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
but you are ready, I assume.
Yep, I got a plan.
Okay, perfect. So
We got a plan.
I will now just move over. We will move over to the original layout. So here we have the runners. Both are ready. Get ready to load and start the run. I will do a countdown. When the countdown is done, you guys of course can start the run and do it. And we will move you over to the league room and you guys can chat or chill or do whatever you want there. Of course, don't cheat. That would be bad. But
Yeah.
we are now going to count down. Get ready. So in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, runners.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck, Professor.
Okay, and they are off, so we will be moving them out of the comms booth for Mr. Oskag and I to take over here. So I imagine the first task that we're going to be doing after we escape Paris is probably sprinting through the storm. It's well, actually no, it'll probably be Fortnite, won't it?
I think so. I think we will we'll see a little bit of the ye old boogie bounce or whatever you want to call it, snot jump. And they will probably move over to that. They might actually, depending a little bit, they could end up going over to the, let me see here. I feel like someone might do the this is a library first, where to get the barrel takes a little bit of time. Sort of just like combine it with sprinting through the storm and just do it all out there, because if you have experience and you have tried it before, you could do that very quickly, since you will have to do it anyway. But I don't know.
That's true. We have a lot of options here in World 1. At least in my experience, whenever I have done some stop seeds, it's really nice whenever you get sprinting through the storm paired with where we drop in. Since you have to wait to hear Raleigh say Fortnite, you can just spend that time waiting, collecting the bottles in order to unlock the vault and gunboat graveyard, grab the key, and then boom, you can immediately do an MTS just like that while also completing the Fortnite task. So, you know, it's all about efficiency in your routing with these randomized task lists. But it looks like Knuutti over here is actually opting to do ASA. He's collecting the bottles, so I imagine he'll be doing the MTS in this level instead.
Seems like it. This could seems like the professor is struggling a little bit to get out over this here. Might watch the cutscene, or I didn't quite catch. Yeah, he skipped it. Yeah, so it seems like both of the runners are doing the MTS in stealthy approach. I don't
Or
really
they're at
have,
least just getting the vault, since they do have to get blueprints. I had forgotten about that.
Yeah. Not sure which episode would actually be better to do all of the bottles in. Probably episode 1, if the devs made it sort of harder in the, oh my god, my English is struggling. In the
The later
intended
worlds.
route, that for
Yeah,
lack of a better term.
I agree. I think World 1 is usually better to get bottles because, I mean, look, ASA has 20 total. If you compare that to something like World 3 levels, they often have as much as 40. So I feel like it's typically just faster to do any task that involves collecting bottles and such in World 1 is usually pretty convenient and fast.
Yeah. I'm a very, I was gonna say retired, but more tired Sly runner. So this is you know, keeping up with the kids nowadays. You know, it's a hard game, but you know, they're always on it.
Yeah, Oggy, tell us, how many stop seeds have you ran so far?
I've ran a singular one to test out how badly a run
Really?
could go. Got a 139, I believe, or 36, something like that. It was on remaster as well, so of course lost some time there. Original, I would say, is definitely easier. It's more personal preference. Just I don't know, not really any problem running remaster. Of course, you get the a much faster way to, an easier way to just skip the intro cutscenes to the world, so that is a plus. But of course it depends also how confident you are with the PS2 world skips. It depends a little bit, it depends. But, you know, that's the great thing, it's preference, this is randomized. The runners had nearly no indication of what the list was gonna be, except from some Oggy mistakes.
Yeah, just to reiterate to the chat, these runners, they did not see the list before we revealed it on stream just now. It's truly randomized. Knuutti, one of our SlyGolds mods and genius, created a randomizer program that will pull 10 tasks from a list that was created so that you can run these as often as you like. If you want to practice on your own, you can randomize to your heart's content, and I will post the link for that randomizer in the chat. Let me just grab that real quick.
Yeah, while Nave does that, it seems like Knuutti has now finished Stealthy Approach, getting the Vault, 1 of 3. Seems like he's going to do that now. He's also going into a Cunning Disguise to get all the bottles, as well as get the barrel all the way to the key, as intended by the developers. So your Professor...
Yeah, he's playing this real smart, real efficient.
Yeah, I feel like both of the runners have the same idea here. There has not been any time for chit chats, as they were in call here as well, unless they have some secret code message that goes through. So we might, you know, the thing is, it depends, you know, how much you wanna win. There's a chance that if one of the runners spill the beans on what type of strat they're going for or route, the other runner could just copy it. We don't have any set route or really any idea about what the runners are up to, if they could be working together against us. Who knows? You know. But
I imagine they'd probably share some tips. I mean, you know, I think Professor, he's a little bit of a newer runner, and Knuutti, being a seasoned veteran and kind-hearted gentleman, probably gives him some tips and tricks on at least his own route.
Yeah, we see here a Professor doing the MTS immediately. Not sure if Knuutti is gonna do the MTS maybe in this level, due to it being pretty fast. We'll
That's
have to,
true.
we'll have
Since
to
this
see.
was original, you could do the proxy at the beginning and have a really quick and easy MTS and ACD here.
Yeah. It's also the thing with the Stealthy Approach, it can be a very big struggle to get to the end of it. There's been multiple times I've just had like almost a second left getting into that.
Yeah.
But the skips
Yeah, it's
we have.
honestly legitimately one of the harder World 1 MTSs. I mean, look, Professor has 10 seconds left. It's not a whole lot of wiggle room, and I did see him doing the map buffer at one point, so ASA is a little notorious in that regard.
Yeah, as we are standing right now, Professor is actually in the lead with 1 ticked off. While
GG's Professor.
Knuutti is
Sprinting through
making
the
his way.
storm, complete. Meanwhile, Knuutti is about to open the vault here in ACD.
I
think he forgot to go to the hub before doing the MTS, so he actually has to do ASA again.
Yes. Don't
At least I
think
imagine
in
that's
the library it was to get the barrel to the key, so I think he's done with that now, because he did get it to the key. The barrel.
Yeah, he brought it all the way to the end, which is the only requirement of the task. It just says bring the barrel to the end of the level.
Yeah, the reason for a little delay there was I had to confine in our rule book made by Nave to check if there was any message of breaking the key, but it wasn't. It was just from the start to the end. So now they're tied. This is speeding up to become a great race right here. It's like Knuutti is now going for the Fortnite.
Everybody get your Riley Fortnite emotes ready in chat. We have to be quiet for this, but I hear it.
There it is.
Fortnite!
He said it. He said it.
Congratulations, Knuutti. Where we dropping? Complete. And as I was mentioning earlier, it's really nice to have the Fortnite task paired with sprinting through the storm, or all part of the plan. Since he had to wait on the dialogue anyway, he can just spend that time collecting the bottles, open the vault, grab the key. Very efficient, very fast.
So Knuutti's gonna get the blueprints now as well.
Yeah, this should be his third vault in World 1, and in every world, if you open 3 vaults, you'll always get the blueprints. So he should have dive, roll, and the World 1 blueprints now, which is great. So does that mean he's done with World 1, perhaps?
No,
he's
he's
gonna
sprinting
move on
through
to
the
the
storm left.
Oh, right. The MTS.
Still
the
haven't
one that
done-
Professor has.
Yes. Professor making his way to Fortnite. We will switch audio here just so we can listen to the dialogue going on in the Professor's run. Just don't worry about the sound icon in the top. Too lazy to move it. But we will now switch over. Forgot to do something here. Oh, that's loud. That's good.
Fortnite!
He said it again. He said it again.
Double Fortnite.
Oh, double Fortnite.
Meanwhile, Knuutti is about to fight the Fortnite frog himself, Mr. Raleigh over here. Surprised that he didn't do an MTS in Gunboat or even ACD, but maybe he plans to view map after the boss fight and do it then. I'm not sure, but I am sure that he has a plan.
Yeah, on
I know.
PS2 as well, you can just load to get it, so it's an interesting strat to not just go for it almost as you are there. But you know, he has us on the edge of our table, you know. Just like, no, okay, we cannot go further with that one. Anyway, so we're now seeing that Professor is also now done with the vault here. I believe he has opened, this is his second vault. Because I believe he has not, yeah, this is his second vault.
Right, so this should be his roll ability, which we'll see. He's watching the shortcut, or the cutscene here. And yeah, he's got the roll ability now, which is, as I mentioned earlier, my favorite gadget in this game. It provides a lot of really interesting movement tech, including roll hovering, which maybe we'll see at some point, maybe we won't. We'll have to wait and find out. Meanwhile, Knuutti is going back for that MTS over here in ASA. An interesting choice, a little bit of a longer choice perhaps, but I think he's got enough wiggle room in this race so far at least. It should be okay.
Seems like the Professor is going for the boss fight now. Might be good routing wise.
Classic cannon skip coming up.
Both of these runners are very similar in what they have, what route they've chosen. This is some pause gaming moment here.
Very nicely done, Professor. First try, cannon skip,
Beautiful.
easy clap. Meanwhile, Knuutti is doing some sort of crazy super jump strat.
Oh wait a
I
second.
think maybe he overshot. No, he curved back in. He's good.
Hold
Wow.
your horses. I think the professor
impressive.
opened the gate, the generator, so he actually has shortcut done.
Oh, he did. I
He
missed that.
did. He opened it, I believe, or did he do the generator skip? But does that
You
count?
would need 3 keys to open it.
Yeah, it's
Did he get 3
blinking
keys?
now. We have a questionable moment here. What the- not manual blinking, I swear. But
Hear Oggy clicking at the same time it blinks. Click, click.
yeah, I wasn't sure if he ran off the roof or not.
I can't imagine that he got 3 keys if he's only got 2 vaults.
See, the chat says he opened it with the snot ball.
Oh, well, that is not what the task says. The task says that, you know what, I'll actually just pull it up. The task says, unlock the gate blocking the second half of any world by collecting 3 keys and opening the gate. So you do have to collect the 3 keys.
Yeah, we might have to confer with that, see if
I think he is probably aware. He probably just did that strat in order to, you know, pass through the pipe. Maybe he didn't do loogie lunge because he doesn't know how, so he did the old strat. But I believe Knuutti is listening in on the stream, so if he hears this, he can tell the professor, you know, make sure he's aware of the shortcut task.
I have written it in the notes so we can confer later. He did break generator.
He broke it, but he did not open it correctly as according to the task.
According to the laws.
Yes, to the laws.
Though, of course, it is possible now for him to get another key and then just go and do it, even if the generator is theoretically broken. As long as he opens up the keys, then that would still count.
Right. If he gets the keys and goes back and opens it, then it should be fine.
Yeah. Raleigh might
Meanwhile-
not be happy that the generator is gone, but still we have opened it in a, I don't know, legally correct way.
While he's running on candlelight right now, power's been taken out. While Knuutti is on ahead into World 2, and as you mentioned at the beginning, Oggy, we don't have any World 2 tasks today.
Yeah, some say it might be rigged to get Owl Historian in. We have no comment, as per usual.
Technically, they could do shortcut in World 2, but, you know, in an optimized run, I think that would be a pretty bad idea.
Unless they want to add, what's the term? Add up the antics or something like that. Up the antics.
Up the ante.
Okay, close enough. Yeah, no, that's what we say. That's close enough.
It's okay, I'll be your English tutor for the day.
Thank you.
If it were me in this race, though, shortcut is a really good task to do in World 3, since you always have to collect 7 keys anyway. What I do, how I route it in, is at the end of defeating Ruby, you just exit level or view map to the hub, or whatever it is you do, and it spits you out right next to the shortcut in the hub, so you can just do it after beating Ruby, and then good to go.
Knuutti completed the first task. Okay. Did I?
Yeah, he did ASA Sprinting Through the Storm, where he did that crazy super jump strat.
Oh no, it's blinking now. Just kidding. Just kidding. The system is breaking. It's breaking. Don't worry about it. But yeah. We have chat is aware. Pay attention. Calling me out in chat. It's a system error. You know. The system is my
the
internal
system is
system. That is not my fault, you know. It's just still a system error. Error code.
Everybody in chat,
337.
give a round of applause to our stream host of the day, Oggyerino Wallhack.
Oggyerino.
He's doing his best.
Yes.
Speaking of his best, which is unrelated to what I'm about to say, but just trying to find a segue into this. After Professor finishes collecting the vaults in ACD here, he will get all part of the plan, and I believe he's probably also going to be getting this barrel to the end, so he'll be getting 2 tasks in 1 level here. Very nice.
Absolutely. There could be, if he gets the barrel, that could be a sad day for the Professor. Then he will have to redo the barrel. Knuutti.
I feel like the barrel's safe. I'm just worried about if he knows where all the bottles are, because I think he did just pass a couple that are hidden behind the fake revolving bookshelves. But maybe he knows what he's doing. I'm sure he does.
Oh, absolutely. Professor, you know, it's a professor in Sly. Knows where everything is.
Exactly.
As
As
you
he
see.
likes to say, class is in session.
Yes. See how he got it.
See? Exactly. Perfect. Meanwhile, Knuutti had a very nice mugshot fight there, moving straight into Dread Swamp Path. No DSJ though, we're going to be doing the proxy. And we do have pest control as one of our tasks. I typically just do Dread Swamp Path as my pest control level, but it seems Knuutti has something else in mind. I wonder which level he's going to choose for that.
Professor opened up.
Yep, that should be his 3rd vault. All part of the plan.
You've done it! The Mojo force field.
I do not believe they're ghosting Mr. Chatter. We have clean players. They are not cheating at this current moment.
I trust our players.
Yeah, they showered. Exactly. And there. Now we have... I need to just figure out what right and left is. There we go. So now the runners
like
are
that.
tied.
Yeah, in less than a minute, Professor just got 2 tasks back to back, tied it up yet again, at least in terms of task, and he's getting the shortcut already.
Now that puts
Technically,
Professor
he's now ahead.
in the task lead. Well done, well done. Okay. So now we will see the Raleigh boss fight. And we will also see whatever this...
Did he already do the Raleigh boss? Yeah, he did the Raleigh boss fight already.
I am so off today. Oh my lord. Don't worry, guys.
Wake up, Oscar, wake up!
Give me a second here, I need some coke. Coca-Cola, not the other one, I swear.
Some nice, fresh, refrigerated Coca-Cola. What about the Pepsi Max enjoyers in chat? Where are you at? It looks like Knuutti is, as Gandhi points out in chat, doing his pest control task here in Lair of the Beast, which is a really interesting choice. Oh, but the spider, they...
That is unfortunate. That's what happens when you go out pest controlling without a professional pest control service.
Make sure you are licensed for pest control, everybody. You want to leave it to the professionals.
Yes. Please call that.
And he did, you know, the death does respawn some of the ones he killed. That's okay. He doesn't have to go back and kill them again. If he killed them at least once, then that counts. Not sure what he was planning to do there with attempting to go backwards. But Professor finishing up Rocky Start and moving on into the World 2 hub. Probably going to be going straight to that mugshot boss fight just like Knuutti did, I imagine. Also, Ostrava, thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders, to the Sly 1 stop event. You know, something that we didn't mention so far, but I will do so now, 24 minutes in to the race. STOP is an acronym. It stands for Special Tasks and Operations Program, which is just something funny that we made up so that we could use the STOP acronym and tell people to stop playing Sly 1.
Get the Sly 1 haters rallied up. I got on my ear from the legal team. They're concerned by the sheer amount of forces they might possess. But
I
yeah,
love some controversy. Gotta rile them up.
let's rile them up.
Riley Fortnite them up.
Yep. Oh, good emote. Good emote. Okay. I have now taken a breath, and my brain is now functioning again. I'm now watching.
Taking a breath.
Eliza.
Sip of Coca-Cola.
I'm running dangerously low on Coke Zero here. We might have to stock up in the intermission. See, Professor struggling a little bit to get the hub or the hub skip here.
Yeah, the mugshot catapult, I believe it's called by the community. Oh, he got the dreaded clip through the ground. Oh no. Classic.
And then Knuutti is now done with pest control. He got all of them. Heading into people's favorite split.
Will he skip it though?
I assume so. Yeah, he will.
Oh, it looks like he is.
Is he doing the remaster one?
Oh,
In
first try?
Okay. Okay.
Yo!
Okay. Okay. I actually weren't aware that that was possible in this version. I don't know what I was thinking.
Insane.
But that is very well done. Round of applause.
Absolutely cracked. GG's Knuutti. It's a good thing we did not have the fish fry task, which is a lot like Raccoon Gumbo, where you have to restart the level after collecting a certain number of chickens or fish, and then die or restart. But since we didn't have that, he could just go straight to the key.
The professor fell down again. It's very sad to see.
Yeah, he's gotten some close attempts. This one looks pretty good.
Yeah.
That slippery slope.
I think this might be where the experience Knuutti has comes in handy. The guy has been running this since before we were born.
Experience? Nah, it's all about that Finnish bloodline. I believe in Finland, when you're born, you're given a copy of Sly Cooper and taught from birth how to speedrun.
Yeah, they're not. Apparently, they're not allowed to leave the hospital before they've beaten Clockwork in Sly 1.
Exactly. They have to have a sub 1 Sly 1 before they can graduate from high school. And Knuutti getting his shortcut task in
Oh!
World 3.
Professor going an alternative way of completing.
Hey, very nice.
That is
He did
something-
have that roll ability, so it worked out.
Something you don't really see that often in original runs. It's great to see. Use some almost like a little homage to the remaster runners.
Yeah, started getting nostalgic about Oggy's days of finding World 2 skip on remaster when they thought they needed roll to do it.
Yeah.
Lol. Clueless.
That's where I came in, non-clueless, and just walked straight
No.
through.
Non-clueless, found remaster World 2 skip, has since become clueless again.
Then we see here now Knuutti going in for the Raccoon Gumbo. Raccoonus Gumbo Dubo. So here you have to
Raccoon
get
Gumbo.
20 chickens, then die to the roosters. In my test run, I sadly died on 19, so try not to do that. That is very sad.
That's hilarious.
But it is such a good split though, you know, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and it is of note, if you have a charm, or even 2 charms, you have to exhaust both of them and then die. You have to fully die to complete this task. Burning a charm does not count. But luckily, Knuutti did not have any charms, so he was able to just die immediately upon reaching 20 chickens and has achieved the task. Now he's just got to go through the rest of World 3, and I believe we don't have any more tasks in World 3, at least until we get down to Dance Dance Ruby as our final one.
Yes. There is also, just for the Knuutti fans out there, no worries. If Knuutti now dies, he does not have to die again. It doesn't reset the original death. So, so just hold your horses. No legal comments are needed. Being a little close to that chicken right there, or rooster, I guess.
Oh,
Almost looks like a duck, to be honest. It's
scary.
red and stuff. There he goes.
29 seconds left. We'll take it.
World record almost. There he goes.
All right, the professor's going for the mugshot super jump here again. Let's Prage.
No, he hit the cutscene. Oh no.
Oh, he killed the guard.
Oh no.
That's why.
Well, I don't think it sets his position though, does it? When he's on
He
top of the
might
ledge?
be just enough on the edge that his position is not set, but I'm not sure.
Get some prayers in the chat, guys, for Professor here. Unfortunately, hits the cutscene. And it's
I didn't even notice that the guard was dead, but yeah, it looks like he might be just enough on the edge. Oh no, he's gonna retry. That's fine, he can do it again. Now the cutscene won't interfere.
I believe. I am a believer. The thing
Believers
is,
in
it
chat.
would have been a gamble if he had set his position there or not.
It would have been. But I'm a believer that the gamble would have paid off.
The gamble.
The gamba.
There we go.
Speaking of, we should have been doing predictions. Maybe we'll do that in the next couple races.
And he gets it. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Hey! Very nicely done. Knuutti, no! Edge. I believe the professor does run on a slim PS2. I don't know what model number exactly, but he did mention it's at least a slim, so it's probably faster for him to do the boss cutscene resets here.
Yeah, I believe it's only Miss Ruby that wouldn't be faster unless you have a 90k model. If I recall correctly.
So.
I've been, you know, such a pay-to-winner that I've almost not ran on PS2 for like decades. The amount of BC PS3s in my graveyard is almost getting to Exo's level.
I think you're probably right though, that sounds familiar. Probably right with that.
At least no on remaster, it's very close. You have to be extremely quick to have the optimal setup to be able to get it.
Mm-hmm. Finishing up a nice Fastly while we're in the last call mugshot fight on the other side. Having a little issue though.
The nerves might be getting to him.
Yeah, I can relate to that. It's time for the new life. This is it. This is the new life. This is all with Scuba Skip.
Is he gonna do it in one fluid motion? That's the nicest trick in the game, IMO. Is if you do
Yeah, this
this
is
without
honestly...
stopping. No!
Oh, no!
He gets burnt. That's unfortunate.
I was just about to say that a very clean descent into danger is one of the nicest looking like movement sections in a Sly 1 any % run.
Yeah, I've been, when I was running, I was messing around with jumping from the right side of the statue thing, the waterfall. It's extremely difficult, but if you do it in one single motion, it is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And scuffed.
Apparently, nowadays they have a setup where you can do it from the chandelier at the top, where you can latch on, and this starts the Ruby dialogue. Apparently that's a thing now.
Wow. Yeah, me and Nave at the retirement home haven't gotten this news.
Old. Yeah. I remember when I ran Sly 1. Yeah, but Sly 1 has been popping off lately over the past couple of years. It's just been non-stop finding new strats. It's so fast. In fact, just last night, if anybody in chat hasn't heard, Sly 1 any percent has achieved a 31:59, I believe it was, as the new record, which is just insane.
Back in my day, it was much higher. I remember when I had 48 and I was second place.
Yeah, seriously.
This is it's been crazy. It's been crazy with World 4 skip and with all like small adjustments and like small strats that just adds up over time. Going crazy.
Yeah.
Seems like
And speaking of World 4 skip, just want to reiterate, thank you all for today for watching twitch.tv/tsparkles. Really appreciate that.
most active Sly runner in existence, if you want to call him a Sly runner. But it seems like Professor is now going for cleaning out all of the things, as called in pest control.
Pest control. Yeah, this is the level that I typically do mine in as well. The only downside to doing it in this level is that you do have to kill that mosquito at the very beginning, which does cause a Bentley cutscene to happen.
Yes.
But you can sort of circumnavigate that by like view mapping back to the van. So it's not too bad, but
I believe you can also do the rock jump there on the left, but I don't know if it's worth it. Might be worth it.
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah,
It's the
I
remaster
forgot about
jump.
that strat. Yeah.
I don't think they utilize. They might utilize it in original if you do DSJ and if you're not doing the proxy.
Knuutti going all the way to the out of bounds section for the Ms. Ruby cutscene skip, and then realizing he only had 0 lives, so he actually had to take the death, and is restarting here.
Little throwback to when this was
Crunch.
just a tiny baby in the works, and we were doing the testing, and I was tasked to do a test run to see how bad we could end up with the time, and I forgot how to do Miss Ruby, so when I ran over and I thought you shouldn't go behind Ruby and die, so I went to Ruby and died and had to redo it. The amount of people in the call that happened then, they had a good time. So
Yeah, we use Oggy as our scale for worst possible scenarios, and like most scales that he gets on, they usually break. So.
enjoy that
No rebuttal for
silence.
that one.
Enjoy that
No.
silence.
Nothing to say for that one.
Enjoy that. No, I have something to say, but you know, I'll just have to refer it with your mother. But yeah, I hope that silence keeps you going tonight. That was beautiful silence with Miss Ruby in the background. It couldn't have been worse. It couldn't have been worse.
Ooh. Yeah, and just to reiterate, we do have the Dance Dance Ruby task, but defeating Ms. Ruby here will not fulfill that task. The final task, which is always a boss, has to be done as the last thing, as the end point of the run. So we will be seeing this fight yet again once Knuutti finishes his other remaining tasks, which are only sprinting through the mountains and Owl Historian. He's only got 2 left. But they are going to take a little bit of time to get done. We have to go all the way to the end of World 5. Did the Professor control the pests? I believe he did. I'm pretty
He
sure
did.
I saw him defeat all the ones in DSP.
He did complete it, yes.
Nicely done. Soon, I believe his next one should be Raccoon Gumbo.
Yes, and Knuutti going over to World 4 real soon unless something unfortunate happens, which we knock on wood, pray that doesn't.
Yeah, the Mizurubi double hits, you know, these days they're, you know, it's kind of down to a science. People are pretty good at doing them, but every now and then, you never know, something funky could happen. Looks like he did it pretty cleanly though. Easy clap.
Took his time to remember which button to hit. It's always smart.
You always gotta take a moment for a breather.
Don't want to hit
Hope
the
that it
triangle.
works out. Yeah. Moving on to APA, will he do any of the original strats on APA? It looks like he's actually going to be doing APA bottles so that he can do the MTS for sprinting through the mountains, which is pretty smart. This is typically the level that I do my sprinting through the mountains on as well.
It's pretty
So it makes
easy to make it in time without any issue. Could of course do Flaming Temple of Flame, but you're not going through it, so it would be going out of your way to handle it.
Yeah, I think that's another pretty good option, especially whenever you have roll, so that you can do roll hover strats throughout it. It's a pretty solid choice as well.
Knuutti going on the sign, beautiful.
Left side, Dan's game.
It's become a controversial topic. You use the sign, you use the side of the mountain. You go left, you go right. You know, it all comes down to
Definitely
preference.
a right-sider for sure.
I think I'm a sign to the right. Running straight at the sign is one of my specialties. Non-stop jumping.
I didn't know running was a specialty of yours at all.
But in the game.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. When I'm out and about, you usually see me rolling in a
Just
beautiful.
like these monkeys and snowballs here. That's
No,
Oggy on a
more like in
typical day.
a Mercedes SLS 2022 edition rented by my
Yo.
company. One of my
Jeez.
7 companies and apartment complexes.
You bought that with your SlyGolds paycheck, didn't you?
Yes, SlyGolds Patreon, everyone. Nice segue. Let's go.
Yeah. Support Oskeg's lifestyle and his Mercedes-Benz by donating to the SlyGolds Patreon.
But yeah, if you wanna, like, on a real note, if you wanna actually support and keep the site up and going, both, of course, events with some rewards, and also with the actual SlyGolds.com site, then feel free to donate on Patreon. It's very much appreciated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And for legal issues, I have not taken out salary.
Legally, we are required to say that.
But yeah, we see Professor here going through Grave Undertaking. No, Grave. Is it Grave? No, wait. Is it Grave? Yeah, it's Grave Undertaking.
Yeah, this is Grave Undertaking.
Yeah.
Doing the classic out of bounds strap.
Exit.
Makes this very long and tedious level pretty trivial and short.
Only sad thing for an old mind is that we don't get to see the hook jump anymore. That was a great era.
Olge.
But yeah, Knuutti is now going to do a perilous ascent, sprinting through.
Rolling. Meanwhile, Professor will be getting his Raccoon Gumbo task right at about the same time. Oh, clean jump, Knuutti. That's a jump that I tried doing recently and just could not get it.
I always ledge grab every single time. It's a weirdly difficult one because of the invisible barriers that are surrounding it. I don't think it was intended to jump back.
Definitely not.
But see here, Knuutti probably gonna set up and maybe even do the MTS at the end after defeating Panicking and doing Ward 4 skip. It seems.
That would probably make sense since he needs to get a charm for this skip. Maybe he didn't want to get the charm and then lose it in the MTS or something like that. I'm not sure what his train of thought was exactly, but I think you're right.
But yeah, also mentioning a comment here, the name on the SlyGolds webpage It's not very often updated, so we have more fallen back to really just getting like if you support us, that is very good. The rewards a little iffy on those. Don't worry if you don't get them, you can DM me and I will sort you out. But you know, don't think about it too much. It's
Yeah, we should review the rewards. I like the idea that Yamada posted in chat.
Yeah, we could do something like that. I think we already do, I believe. Might not be... It might be for one of them. We could probably just make it for all of them, to be honest. Since we don't really have anything other in the arsenal to go for. We see here...
We should make a, like, platinum tier Patreon. Or if you subscribe to that, then the SlyGolds team members will fly out to come meet you.
That's awful. Well, how much money were you thinking? Like $1,000 plus? Jesus.
Like 10.
Jesus.
So,
If you live anywhere outside of the cities of the current SlyGolds members, you are not eligible.
Meanwhile, Knuutti, very clean World 4 skip.
And
While the
Professor,
Professor did get his raccoon gumbo.
he did. He ate it, he enjoyed it. Now he's spinning.
Didn't even share any.
He didn't share any. I think he couldn't have gotten it complete if he did share. That would have been. Imagine someone hitting us up with a co-op run. That would have been crazy. Been crazy.
Interesting choice that Knuutti did not reset for this boss intro, but maybe he just really likes the Panda King dialogue, and I mean, who doesn't? It's classic.
Yeah, especially when Panda King starts saying that he wants to reveal something and that, you know, he has the palms of Panda and stuff. It's great. But
How many Grim Pandas will he get? That's the question.
the Grim
One.
Panda expert coming in. Ooh. And
One,
the
that's
mid-
already more than I got in the past, like, week, so...
I'm too scared of mashing past the point and having to watch the end cutscene. Like I would make it there anyway. So I just beat the F out of him anyway.
Oh yeah, 3 out of 4. That's pretty good, we'll take that.
Clean, very clean. Went to the hideout, actually. Probably getting...
Forget the MTS, perhaps?
Yeah, it seems like he might have forgotten the MTS.
Unless he just has some crazy plan to do it after World 5 for some reason. I can't imagine why. Or did we miss it? Did he do the sprint already?
No, he is coming back for it. I don't think he hasn't done it, because he went straight to the World 4 skip. Unless he, you know, it's like a 1 minute long thing, so if we missed it then we are actually dog shit. But, you know, I am extremely confident that we didn't. But he has to go back to World 3 anyway, so I guess it's on the way when you scroll past it. But, you know.
Perhaps. Maybe he did a save. Maybe he's doing like a save load strat and I didn't see it. We'll find out. The commentators are clueless.
Or maybe he just missed it. Who knows, you know, that's why we don't have a set route. You know, anything can happen.
That's what I love about, you know, these randomized task lists. You can do it in whatever order you want, really. I mean, he could have saved where we drop it all the way to the end if he wanted.
Give us one last fortnight. Except, of course, you have to finish on the boss.
Right. The only thing that's actually set is defeating the boss at the end. Everything else, fair game. Which is really fun. Obviously, you know, there are optimal ways and routes to do certain things, but technically you could do it however you want.
Yeah.
Professor going into Descent. Let's see if he's a bone jumper or a scuba diver.
That is correct, Yamada. There are some things that would hurt you time-wise if you were to wait until the end. But it depends. If you think that's a very hard task, it could be beneficial to do it last, so that you don't get stuck on it.
Or like, if you also have tasks for collecting like the roll ability, maybe you'll push off an MTS until you have it so that you can do it super fast or something. Anything like that. Might even push off doing a World 2 MTS until you have the invisibility from Ms. Ruby, so that you could do the MTS on 2 to Tango and do that proxy all the way to the end. I mean, there's all sorts of things that you could pair certain tasks with each other for really interesting routing.
Something that's great about doing randomized events, and also that in this case, of course, skill matters to a certain degree with how much experience you have doing the skips. But in theory, it's a fair game for everyone. If you have less experience, that's sadly something that we can't control. But I'm sure people are aware that there are everyone from high level runners to people who have never even played the game that can join the event. There's no list of banned people
Yet. Kappa.
yet. It's coming. We are pushing for legal action.
Yeah, but just like with optimal loot, you know, we try to make everything as fair, even playing field as possible in these types of events. So anybody can join, and it really gives unique ways to practice and learn the game or relearn the game. I mean, I know Ostrava, not to pick on him, but he's been doing S.T.O.P a lot recently and has been reacquainting himself with Sly 1, learning a lot of strats, practicing, getting good at the game again. And same for me as well. It's been forever since I played Sly 1, so this has been a great opportunity and a really fun way to relearn the game.
Absolutely. Almost got the CSS. Apparently you can do the CSS 100% consistent now, to some degree, or at least consistently. I wasn't aware
My
of.
boomer brain wouldn't understand.
Yep, me neither.
Just think of HDLS, the god computer.
Let's see if Knuutti can get this first try. Let's see if it's a clean Bentley skip. Doing the double jump strat. A little bit too short on the speed there.
Speed running with speed. There we go. Third try, I think that was.
Yes, very good.
Nice.
Bentley skip is one of those tricks that we now almost brush off because it is looked at as an easy strat or like an easy skip, but it is. But if you're new, it is hard.
Yeah, it's really great. Like we mentioned a couple times, the amount that this game has evolved is just insane. Bentley skip used to be a huge obstacle. World 4 skip, huge obstacle. Even the World 2 catapult can be pretty massive for especially new runners. And now all of that stuff is just like anybody can do it.
I'm not sure if Professor has noticed that he's on 0 lives here.
He's about to find out the hard way, I think.
But one thing with Bentley skip as well that is very interesting is that the way to do it has become easier because of the different setups you have, which is something I wouldn't believe would happen because it feels like a very finalized trick. So
Yeah,
it's
every time you think like, oh, this is the way to do it, somebody like R2 in chat comes up with some crazy new way and then finds a way to optimize it, make it easier, and there's just so many methods to do so many things nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty speedrunning is great. Oh, it's screw buying.
Uh-oh.
That is
There he goes. Ran out of
unfortunate,
O2.
but great. I guess a mistake or game fault that they
A
made.
classic glitch for sure.
Yeah. It would be kind of sick if we could run all the way over to the second point to hit Ruby. But of course the game has to have that song going that haunts my nightmares.
I can believe that. Knuutti having a nice looking sinking peril. I was blanking on the name of the level for a moment, but this is an iconic level in speedruns because of just how much it too has evolved and has just gotten faster and faster. And we are moving on to the final level where he will get the Owl Historian task.
Okay, that jet
Sly Cooper. You have escaped my gas chamber and destroyed my death ray. Remarkable. You Coopers always find a way to beat me.
Always? So that was you in the background of all those old pictures in the devious raccoons. How old are you?
Perfection has no age.
What? You're
Great line.
Revenge is the prime ingredient in the fountain of youth. I've kept myself alive for hundreds of years with a steady diet of jealousy and hate, awaiting a day when I will finally eclipse your family's thieving reputation.
Sly! My missiles don't hurt him but seem to create holes in his armor. Shoot into the gaps I create!
Oh,
That's very good. I'm glad you pointed that out, Augie. The perfection has no age line. It's very
yes,
good.
It's very, very good. Honestly, Clockwork is my favorite villain. Sad to
It's a good
see
choice.
that he died, you know. When they had the hate
Dead.
chip in Sly 2, spoilers by the way, I should have been Clockwork's voice there as well. But no, we had to get Neela.
Don't you mean Clockla?
Sure.
Sure. It's a top tier choice though, Clockwork as your favorite villain.
Yeah, I feel like it's really the only villain in at least Sly 1 that isn't fueled by being bullied and becoming a bully. He just hates everything.
I now understand Knuutti's routing for the MTS here. Saved the key in APA for the end so that he could just grab it, load, and have the MTS immediately available. That's pretty clever.
I personally don't think I would have made the same choice. Not sure if there's any like time aspect there that is beneficial. But I think I would have done it in another way. Personally.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing about these this type of category, these randomized seeds. It's hard to time things because it's so dynamic and subjective, right?
Yes.
It's hard to get like precise timing for routes compared to in a regular category like any percent. But while Knuutti's in APA, Professor's also showing up in APA after a successful Ms. Ruby fight.
Getting all the bottles now. They have a very similar route of what they choose to complete.
Yeah, both doing the APA as their eventual MTS completion.
Absolutely. They might be an easier route to think of than expected, but in the list it is listed depending on which world it is, so chronologically. That was the word I was looking for before, by the way. So now I remembered it. Very proud.
Very proud. Good job.
Thank you.
Sprinting through the mountains, complete. Now we just have to fight Ms. Ruby one more time over on Knuutti's side to complete his task list. And he did some double load strats here. Interesting. Very clever.
Here we go. Oh, that always scares me.
I'm not even sure when he set up that Deadly Dance save file,
Who knows?
but very smart.
You know, the commentators, we are always on the spot. We know everything.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
We see all.
Yes.
Probably in Deadly Dance. Good point, chat. Thank you. But as you were mentioning at the beginning of the stream, Augie, Knuutti has two choices. He could, of course, do the third phase casually as normal, but he'll probably just end up doing the double hit to defeat Ms. Ruby in the speedrun way, which, of course, still fulfills the task's completion criteria. Basically, as long as you kill a boss in a way that it would unlock the next world or complete the game as normal, then it's totally fine.
Absolutely. Not quite sure about the time here, but we might see a sub 1 run.
Yeah, it'll be cutting it close, but I think the phase 2 is going to be a little bit too long. I think it'll be just over an hour.
Yeah, it might.
It is, after all, an auto-scroller.
Yeah. Would have been crazy if we found a skip for this.
Or just a way to speed up the in-game clock or something.
Yeah. Fast. Constant fast.
Without fast.
I think the way to do it would be to make the game think that fast is on all the time. I think that's a good shout of how. Oh, Professor doing roll hovering.
Yeah, he's doing Flaming Temple of Flame, I guess, is his MTS of choice. He started doing APA, changed his mind to show off the roll hover strats we were talking about earlier. Very impressive. Will he land successfully? I think he has enough height.
Just barely missed the sub one.
Oh, starting to drop it. Meanwhile, Knuutti got the double hit, didn't even pause. GG Knuutti. Just over an hour.
GG, sir. GG. So we will now try and see if we can get the audio to a similar level and switch over. I think this should be similar levels. Like so.
Let's see if I'm going to be asking the runners if they will be joining us for an interview, for the end of this race here. Let's see if Professor can at least get this roll hover strat first. Alright, it looks like we will be dragging them in for a post-run interview right now. Hello, Knuutti and Professor. GG, what a race. That was really fun to watch. Knuutti, as the victor, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I had some blunders with my rolling, but I think overall it went okay. It was really fun. It was really fun racing with Professor. We had good times chilling in the VC.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, your routing was really fun and interesting. Had us scratching our head a few times, me and Oggy being clueless. But Professor, how did you feel about your routing and your run overall?
Routing, I'm pretty proud of it. Run, you saw what happened.
You're pretty close. I mean, you're not too far behind. You only had 2 tasks plus the boss left. So honestly, I'd say you put up a pretty fair fight.
Yeah. I believe my biggest thing really is just nerves got to me in World 2, as well as it's just general consensus that Knuutti is obviously the better runner. He's a great battle I fought, and I'm glad that I got to race someone as good as him for the first ever stop race. So thank you all for having me.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here. I mean, yeah, good point. Knuutti is a tough opponent. He's such a good runner. And I'm really glad you guys raced here with us today. Oggy, do you have any questions or anything you want to say to our runners?
I would like to ask the runners, what did you think of the list you were presented with?
Yeah, we actually thought about this a little bit. Like, other than having all historian, this was actually really good to see it. Like, very interesting. Like, we were thinking if instead of all historian, we had like something in World 2, it would have been like super good. But yeah, it was nice having 2 massive sprints. It was cool as well. Yeah, it was very nice.
I would agree with that. If I ran this list, I'd be thinking the same thing.
I'm in the same boat as him. Everything but Hell Historian. Honestly, I was hoping for another like World 4 or World 2, since I'm really good at those worlds. World 1, 3, and 5 have eluded me for a while. But yeah.
Owl Historian, especially with this list you got, then it is a very sad addition, because then you will have to do the entire World 5 almost to get to it. And if you had another one, you wouldn't even touch World 5.
Yeah. It's a very, like, hit or miss thing. Like, the only other World 5 are, like, over halfway through. You either go to the very beginning or go to almost or the entire thing. So... It's also just, like, it's also supposed to be, like, an 80% race, so you're supposed to go to the end. So...
That's the way the rando rolls. Well, thank you guys so much for showing us the first original stop race here on the SlyGolds events channel. We really appreciate that a lot. Do you have any final words or anything, any shout outs before we have an intermission for our next race?
Shout outs to Nave. Nave has done good stuff.
No, shout outs to
organizing
Knuutti for making the layout and making the randomizer and just doing so much work.
Yeah, thank you everybody. Really excited for the next race.
I guess my shout out would be shout out to Gessie for giving me a bunch of strats last night in stream before I came here today, so I had something to do. And shout out to Knuutti for, once again, just amazing runner, amazing opponent. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Shout out to you.
Yeah,
great.
So we're now heading into intermission for the next race, the next match. This is gonna be a slightly longer intermission than maybe we expected. There's gonna be some toilet breaks. We also have to set up for the remaster and do some audio balance. It's gonna be very quick. Don't worry, guys. We'll be back in just a few seconds, minutes, hours. Don't worry about it. We're back before you know it. So, see you in the next match.